Hey, I'm Kelli Bain, owner and founder of N7 Cream Lab, Ice Cream and Coffee Lounge in Ellenwood, Georgia. People always say, "Oh, what's N7?" A lot of times they don't understand. Well, the key is our secret sauce, liquid nitrogen, right? And so N7, nitrogen, number 7 on the periodic table, and of course we use that to freeze all of our ice cream. So one of the most fondest memories that I have growing up was my grandfather, William Douglas, making homemade ice cream. And I won't date myself, so we didn't actually churn the ice cream, but we did use an automatic ice cream maker. And I say one of my fondest memories because I remember making the ice cream with him. We didn't know that that was science back then, but I understood that we were making it from scratch because he had the cream, he had everything. And what I wanted to do before I started the actual company, I wanted to pass that tradition on to my children. Um, Sunday dinners with my grandfather and my family are, like I said, very close to my heart, and I wanted to create those memories, or at least give my kids a new memory of something that we did together. And ice cream was a great way for us to do that. So those memories started off at home, kind of putting formulas together, getting taste together after I talked to my grandfather. I knew what to do, what not to do. And long story short, it all came together when I realized, me being a scientist, that I could actually now make the ice cream and use science at the same time. And so being able to do those two things together is N7 Cream Lab, how N7 Cream Lab was kind of the foundation. And then to actually start the business of N7 Cream Lab was I asked the question, how do I kind of use my gifts and talents in my background, and then also be able to create those memories in the community. And then, of course, be able to put all of that together, and N7 Cream Lab was created. So, one of the things about opening N7 Cream Lab that was a little bit, I would say, kind of scary was that the inception to actually opening in Ellenwood came during COVID. And we are living in such uncertain times. But Ellenwood it's my home. It's been my home for 20 years. And so even though I was thinking about opening up a physical location, we did a lot of catering, we did school events, we did all these things, but opening up a real space that actually was able to give us a center was very important. So during COVID, a space came available here in Ellenwood, and it's been absolutely great since we opened. We've got great receptions from our neighbors. One of the things that I foresee for 2022 is being able to also do our community events. We are still, creeping around COVID, and so it's important that we are safe, but also we be able to kind of have some normalcy. And with that being said, this 2022, I would hope would be greater, that we can actually get out into the community, bring people into the space, so that we can actually fulfill all the goals and the aspiration for connecting families, community, and science education here inside N7 Cream Lab. So one of the biggest things is so funny because everybody that comes into the space always asks, like, how did you think of this? How did you come up with this? Is this a franchise? Where did this come from? So by profession, I have been working in education. I've been a college professor for 18 years. I've taught general chemistry in University System of Georgia. So the idea of being able to use science is great. I like to always say my love for science and entrepreneurship came from my undergraduate institution, Tuskegee University, TU, and I always like to give kind of that homage to my undergraduate institution, because that idea to be a go-getter, the idea to be able to take my science background and make that a business was something that kind of started earlier on at Tuskegee. And so being a resident of Ellenwood, and being able to have an opportunity to actually open the physical location, it was like, this is great. My background is science, chemistry, right? I wanted to create the memories, right? And I wanted to be able to hopefully pass the love, or at least the respect for science education, all in one location. And N7 Cream Lab and Ice Cream is an excellent way to do that. So, 2022, like I said before, one of my number one goals is being able to contribute to the community. And I have a lot of initiatives that I started before I actually opened N7 Cream Lab as a physical location and a business. So I did go out to different schools before, and I did science demonstrations. And these science demonstrations basically talked about the science and the chemistry behind ice cream, different states of matter, and how liquid nitrogen ice cream is actually produced. And kids get to see the science background, and they also get an opportunity to taste the ice cream. So in that was one aspect, of course, that we wanted to make sure that we continued here. But we do that under the umbrella of the Chem Lab STEM initiative. And so the Chem Lab STEM initiative is a kind of collabo, or kind of an umbrella for all the different community things that I have dedicated myself to doing when you're talking about giving back, not just to my community, but to the next generation. So one of the things that's close to my heart is Chem Chicks, which is one program underneath the Chem Lab umbrella. And Chem Chicks is a program that I designed probably back in 2000, maybe 11, 2010-ish, where we focused on girls in particular, whether it be from maybe, I think we had as young as first grade through sixth grade, where the focus was to actually learn and to, again, gain the respect for science, in particular chemistry, because chemistry is the central science. Everybody has to come through a chemistry class, right? And chemistry is the foundation for all the other STEM areas. Chem Chicks allowed girls to come in. We did camps, and what basically the core of it was to learn about the central science, chemistry, and cosmetics. And so the idea was, we made lip balm, we did all these different things, and it kind of has expanded because I realized that there is also a need for all boys and girls to get the love and get the that quality education and educational experience, and sometimes it's needed outside the classroom. We are lacking as African Americans the equity, even when we have access. So the idea of Chem Chicks and the Chem Lab together allow us to be able to, hopefully for me, and when I say the word us, I'm talking about N7 as a family business, because it is family. And so it's important to us as a family that we're able to give back our gifts and talents underneath this Chem Lab umbrella in all areas of STEM education. So in 2022, I hope to, number one, be able to get one of my number one goals is to be able to make sure that we have monthly events, whether it be a STEM activity. We have our books and brunch events that promotes our Reading for Scoops program here at N7, our Chem Chicks that allows us to hopefully have that summer interaction with girls in particular, and cosmetic chemistry, basically focusing again on application. And then the Chem Lab idea, also be able to have those monthly STEM activities that involves all kids of different ages. So being able to develop those things are our number one priority in giving back to the community by which we service.